Okay, you have to hear this because on the surface, this story makes absolutely zero sense. We are talking about a team that is firing on all cylinders, looking every bit like a championship contender. And yet, the biggest story swirling around them isn't about how good they are. It's about trading the very guy who's conducting the whole orchestra. I mean, really, just let that sink in for a second. Since Christmas, the LA Clippers have been, without a doubt, the best basketball team on the entire planet. They're winning, they're clicking, everything is working. So why in the world would they even think about trading James Harden? It's the question that's got the whole league buzzing. And look, this isn't just some fan theory or idle chatter on the internet. The report is pretty specific. The Clippers are actively exploring a deal, and the Cleveland Cavaliers have been named as a team with serious interest. When this news dropped, it felt like a total bombshell, and right away the basketball world split into two very clear, very passionate camps. On one side, you've got his own coach, Ty Lue, who's basically asking, "Are you kidding me? Who wouldn't want this guy?" He sees the value every single day in practice. But on the other side, you have a much colder, more experienced take. When James Harden wants out, you don't fight it, you get him out of there before he becomes a problem. So, which one is it? All right, first, let's just look at the hard evidence, right? The pure basketball argument for keeping him on the team. Because when you do that, the idea of a trade starts to seem, well, completely insane. You can just feel the total confusion in this quote from Kendrick Perkins. He's saying exactly what we're all thinking. What is going on? This isn't some team that's struggling and needs a shakeup. For the last 2 months, they have been the best team in the league. The timing of this rumor just makes no sense at all.
And let's be crystal clear about Harden's role in all this. This success isn't happening in spite of him, it's happening because of him. He's putting up vintage numbers, 25 points a game, while also being a top 3 playmaker in the entire NBA. And maybe the biggest thing of all, his presence has allowed Kawhi Leonard to stay healthy and just be Kawhi. The results, they really do speak for themselves.
And what's really wild is that his impact goes way beyond just his own stats. There's this proven formula in the league. You put a big man next to James Harden, and that guy tends to have the best year of his entire career. He's just a basketball genius when it comes to making his teammates better. So from a pure basketball standpoint, trading him feels like self-sabotage. But then you have to turn the page. Because with James Harden, there is always another side to the story. And this side, it's not about what's on a spreadsheet. It's about a pattern of behavior when the pressure is at its absolute highest. And this right here, this is the core of the entire argument to get rid of him. It's a warning, loud and clear. We have all seen this movie before, right? When James Harden decides he's done with the place, you do not try to convince him to stay. Forcing him to stay just creates a massive problem for your whole team. And here it is. Here's the catch. The big, glaring asterisk on what is otherwise a first ballot Hall of Fame career. The dominant, unstoppable force you see from October to April, he often just vanishes in the playoffs. There is a long, documented history of his production just falling off a cliff when the lights are brightest. I mean, just look at this. This slide just lays the evidence bare. In his last 4 winner-take-all games, for one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen, to average under 14 points on 27% shooting it's just shocking. And last year, in an elimination game, he took only 8 shots. 8! For a superstar of his caliber, that's almost impossible to even understand. So you see, the crucial point here isn't just about a player missing shots or having an off night. The really scary part is the perception of his effort. It's described not as choking, but as something worse, apathy. A look of just not being interested. And if you're a front office, that is the single most terrifying thing you can see in a franchise player. All of which kind of makes you wonder, what if this isn't only about James Harden? What if he's just the symptom and not the actual disease? When you see multiple superstars wanting out of the same organization over the years, you have to start looking at the one common denominator, the organization itself. The reporting around the Clippers points to these deeper systemic issues. A breakdown in communication, an environment that players have described as feeling like a sterile corporate job, not a team. We all saw the messy divorce with Chris Paul years ago. And then there's the massive elephant in the room, their other superstar. Now, this is a brutally honest quote, but it really speaks to a frustration that's been building for years. Kawhi Leonard is an all-time great talent, when he actually plays.
But his constant unavailability, especially when the playoffs roll around, it creates this foundation of instability. And when one of your max players is that unreliable, it puts an impossible amount of pressure on everybody else.
So, where does all this leave us? It leaves us with a paradox. It's like the Clippers don't just have one player named James Harden. It feels like they have two completely different guys on the roster.
From October to April, you get the genius, a historic offensive engine who can make your team look absolutely invincible. But come May, you run the risk of getting the enigma, the player who seems to shrink in the biggest moments, who can look disinterested, and who now, unbelievably, is asking out of a winning situation right before a potential title run.
And this brings us to this really fascinating strategy behind a potential trade to Cleveland. It's called the third option theory. The idea is that Harden's biggest flaws get exposed when he has to be one of the top two guys carrying the load. But what if he was the third option on a team, behind guys like Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley? In that role, the pressure to score is gone, his genius as a passer could elevate everyone around him, and his playoff issues might be totally masked. He could be the one missing piece that pushes a really good team over the top.
And so that's it. That's the billion-dollar question the Clippers have to answer. Do you hold on to the regular season brilliance that makes you look like the best team in the world and just cross your fingers and pray that this is the year it's finally different? Or do you cut bait now, trade him, and avoid the risk of another spectacular playoff flameout, even if it means tearing apart something that looks beautiful right now? There's no easy answer at all.